We're talking to Wendy White, manager of grain marketing at Viterra. Hey, Wendy, let's chat about malt barley. We've got some quality issues to deal with.
Yes, so far from the samples that we've been seeing coming in, we do see high chit levels in our malt barley samples coming in. So for those of you that aren't growing malt barley varieties, make sure you get samples to your grain companies and talk about what kind of strategies we can work to deal with this quality. There's been a lot of rain and a lot of wet weather in the last few weeks during harvest, which has affected the chit levels. So far we aren't seeing germ issues, but traditionally what happens is a high chit level means that germination will be deteriorated, and of course germ is a requirement in that malt barley program. So all of our malt barley at Viterra is not sprayed with glyphosate. So that's an important key measure to make sure that farmers are aware of that if they want to participate in the malt barley program. And with higher than normal chit levels, I think it's worth getting samples in quickly and movement quickly so that chit level doesn't affect the germination.
Is it also a year because there's concern about the chit levels? Is this also a year where maybe if I'm turned down today, I maybe don't want to dump that product into the feed market? I may want to hold on because the window of what's acceptable may widen at some point if some of the maltsters get concerned about supply?
Yes, at this point, I don't think we can give a very clear indication of specific requirements in order to meet malt barley because we just don't have enough samples to decide that yet. So what the malt companies will usually do is we'll pick the best of the best, but that is a floating target right now as of today is what is the best. So the problem is that the feed barley price has eroded significantly in the last week. So I think we need to be patient with malt barley and but get your samples in as fast as you can to the elevators for this early movement opportunity.
What has taken feed barley so long to drop? Because I've been talking to growers all through the summer, and I would ask them, hey, what's your number? What crop are you most optimistic about yield-wise? And everybody said barley. Why is the price only dropping now?
I have to agree, Shaun. I'd say throughout the summer, as we were offering attractive $4.50 plus feed barley prices, I was just shocked constantly of why aren't more farmers booking feed barley. I think it's just a matter of this was the type of year because whether it's canola or wheat or barley, we did not see a lot of forward contracting, and I think we can say the same for other companies besides Viterra as well. The amount of forward contracting with farmers has been lower, and I think it's because the last few harvests have been so difficult on the farmers, and the quality, whether it was green canola last year or sprouted wheat or looking for fusarium in wheat, everybody was very nervous with their quality. So now that barley is the first crop to be harvested and these yields and the volumes in supply, the supply and demand equation is the simple answer. The supply coming to the market has been very large with these yields.
Would there be any reason to be optimistic price-wise if the U.S. was to come to some sort of agreement on biofuels and what's going on with the RFS? Or is feed barley right now based on supply just detached from that corn market?
Today, with the Canadian situation of how much supply is coming to market, it is its own marketplace. However, it will, once it's binned up, once the farmers have it tucked away and the tough barley and the in urgency to move because of lack of bin space in the farm, once that season has been worked through, it will then be back tied to that corn market. And should corn rally up because of whether it's ethanol mandate or if there's still a lot of uncertainty from the September WASDA report or USDA report, what's actually going to be harvested in the U.S. for corn is still, nobody trusted the September report is the way I would put it. And so we're still looking for the next 30 to 60 days to see what those yields are for corn out of the U.S. So both of those factors, the actual U.S. production and what kind of ethanol program Trump may come up with, would affect the corn price, which would affect our barley price here after this harvest season.
Do you have any context in terms of how bought into the future feed yards in Western Canada are on their feed barley requirements or just feed requirements in general? When we see a slipping here of the price like we've seen the last week, sometimes those bids get even colder. So do you have any numbers in that respect?
I don't. I'm not an expert in that area at all of what we're selling out to the feed market. The only thing I can advise is last year we brought plenty of corn into the marketplace to help the feeders because there was a shortage of it. We have no indication to bring corn up with the amount of quantity of barley that is available.
Interesting stuff. Hey, Wendy, thanks a lot for joining us here today.
Okay, thank you.